If you're thinking about moving to the greater Houston area, then this video is for you. Today, we are breaking down the top areas to live in the greater Houston area based on the Niche.com's list of the best places to live. And we're going to give you an idea of what it looks like to live in those neighborhoods. So let's dig in. So if you are unfamiliar with Niche.com, this is a great resource if you are thinking about moving to a new city. It breaks down different areas, the best places to live, what it looks like for families, the diversity, best places to buy a house, best schools, what areas are good for young professionals, families, retirees, cost of living in different areas, and then what outdoor activities look like in those areas as well. And so what we're breaking down today is the best places to live in the greater Houston area, but this could be a very good resource for you as you are potentially looking to move to a new city. So first, the area that is the number one best place to live in the Houston area, according to niche.com, is Singo Ranch. So Singo Ranch is a neighborhood that is out in the Katy area. It is one of the first master planned communities in the greater Houston area. And basically now it is mainly resale homes that are in Singo Ranch. And that is a great community. And so when we take a look at the map, we're down here in Katy, Texas. You can see Katy on the map right here, which is, we're going to be south of I-10 and generally speaking, east of 99. So you can see some of Singo Ranch is west of 99, but that is really where we stand as far as where Singo Ranch is. It's normally going to be about 45 to 50 minutes to downtown with no traffic. So it's not that close to downtown, but Katy itself has a ton of different amenities and things that you can do out in this area. So it's not necessarily something you would be driving to downtown. A lot of people also use the park and ride out here in Katy, or they work in the energy corridor or something where they're not driving all the way downtown. So zooming in here, this is again where Singo Ranch proper is. One of the things that we will dig into first is going to be schools. And so according to niche.com, the public schools here are Katy ISD, and they are an A+ rating. So the schools have an A+ rating. Again, Katy ISD. And you can see here that there are many different public schools, but the top ones that you would probably be sending your kids to if they were in public school are all very well rated, according to niche.com. So as far as Singo Ranch and like kind of things to do and everything like that, Singo Ranch on the map is right here. We will pull into the Google Maps. The community itself has a ton of different amenities. So you have 11 pools, you have a golf course, an 18-hole golf course, the club at Singo Ranch. They have 17 different tennis courts, and then they have jogging and biking trails, basketball courts, sports fields, tennis, everything that you can imagine as far as different outdoor amenities for you to take advantage of. As far as convenience to local stuff, one of the things that I really like is La Centera, and so that is right here. And so La Centera is a shopping center area, and you have so many different things in here that you can do as far as shopping, dining, and entertainment. You have bars, you have restaurants. There is an Alamo Draft House, a World of Beer. You have Bar Louie, a Trader Joe's, and then a ton of different, shopping and stores and restaurants. So you have like an Athleta, you have Joseph A. Bank, you have Talbot's, you have a Warby Parker, Kendra Scott. You can see there's a lot of different stores, as well as restaurants. One thing that I don't like about the La Centera area is that it gets very busy, with lots of people, coming into the area, which is great, but, getting in and out is sometimes a little bit difficult. There are parking garages, but coming in on these streets is sometimes, you're dealing with a lot of traffic. As far as the area and things to expect, right now, according to HIR.com, the average sales price in Singo Ranch is going to be $615,000. And that's as of January 2025. So $615,000 as far as the average sales price is pretty high compared to the Houston average sales price. And rent is generally going to be averaging around $3,000. So it's definitely not cheap to live in Singo Ranch, but there are a lot of great 3, 4, 5+ bedroom homes. This is one of the most or more established communities in the Katy area. And again, this is a master plan community that has been around for a very long time. As far as what you can expect for homes, it's generally the homes are, very suburban looking. So if we were to come here and plop down on a street and just kind of show you what the neighborhood looks like. A lot of the homes are going to be brick with, 2-car garages, 3-car garages, but pretty standard suburban look for the community. So this is Singo Ranch. When we look to see the number 2 community to live in the greater Houston area, it is the Woodlands. And so the Woodlands is the probably one of the other well-known master plan communities here in the greater Houston area. It is located north of Houston, in Montgomery County. And so if we zoom out on Google Maps, as you can see, we're north of Spring. The Woodlands itself has a name on the map, so you can see it when you're looking on Google Maps. And you're basically going to be north of 99. So we had 99 out in Katy out west. This is north, and you're going to be generally speaking west of 45. And so the Woodlands is, if you ask someone who knows Houston or has been to Houston before, like, hey, what are some neighborhoods? The Woodlands is probably going to be something that people would bring up as far as a neighborhood. Again, because this is one of the older master plan communities in the greater Houston area. And so when we look at niche.com, same thing here. A+ for public schools, A- for housing. It's good for families and it is diverse. There is a lot to do in this area as well. And so, again, master plan community. So it is has a ton of different amenities. One thing that is interesting about the Woodlands is, so as I said, this is north of downtown Houston. It's about 27 miles north of downtown Houston. So if you're driving to downtown, it would probably take you anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes, depending on how quickly you drive, sometimes up to an hour with traffic. But basically, the Woodlands has been open since 1974. It's spread over 28,000 acres. And one of the things that I love about the Woodlands is, since it is an older community, it has very large established trees and the woodlands, so it is very kind of nature oriented. There's over 220 miles of hiking and biking trails. And then you can also go through the Waterway District, where you can see that here, pull up the Waterway District. And so that is right over here. And this is great because there's a parking garage, but then there's a ton of bars and restaurants and shopping that you can do down here in the Woodlands area, but all of it overlooks the waterway. So that's kind of a far away look at that. But you have the Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion. So there's a ton of concerts and things that happen there. A lot of the big names that tour will go through to the Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion. And then over here, we have a ton of shopping as well. You also have the Woodlands Mall. So there's a lot to do in the Woodlands area, especially around the waterway area. And then we're seeing a lot more popping up all around the Woodlands and the Spring and Conroe area, both south and north of the Woodlands. So there's definitely a lot to do. The schools in the Woodlands area are Conroe ISD. So it is Conroe Independent School District is the school district. And as niche.com ranks them as A+ public schools. And then there's a lot to do in the Woodlands as far as year-round events, festivals, farmers markets, lighting of the doves, the Red, Hot, and Blue Festival, Wine and Food Week. There's a lot as far as different community events and amenities. And then, as I said, this is a 28,000 acre master plan community, but 7,000 acres are dedicated to parks and golf courses. And then 8,000 of the acres are going to be undeveloped green space. So places where they're saying, hey, nothing's going to be built here or put here. So no, park, no golf course, anything like that. That's almost 30% of like nature that you're going to have in the Woodlands. Outside of that, though, you have tennis courts, playgrounds, golf courses, and lots to do. The average sales price in the Woodlands, if you thought the $620,000 was high in Singo Ranch, it's $984,000 in the Woodlands as of January 2025. And the average rent in the Woodlands is just over $3,300 at $3,373 for average rent. So it's definitely a little bit more expensive to live in the Woodlands. But for many people, it's well worth it for them. Okay, so the number 3 neighborhood or place to live in the greater Houston area is Sugarland. And so Sugarland is well ranked as well with public schools, housing, good for families, and diversity. And so Sugarland is going to be in Fort Bend County, which is southwest of downtown Houston. So if we zoom out, you would normally take 59 to get down here to Sugarland. And this is just southwest of Houston. If you're driving to and from downtown Houston, you can also use 90. And so a lot of people that live in like the medical center area, they would use 90 to get down to Sugarland as opposed to taking 59 because 59 gets very backed up, during rush hour and large traffic times. So it's definitely something to think about, if you are moving to that area. Very well ranked. And it is again in Fort Bend County. So the location of the schools is Fort Bend ISD. So as far as amenities and things like that, First Colony Mall, and then you have Sugarland Town Center. But there's a lot to do as far as different bars and restaurants. First Colony Mall, Colony Square, all of this. They also have the Houston Marriott Sugarland. And then over here, there are other hotels as well. So there's definitely places to stay, if you have guests coming into town. And one of the biggest things that has come to the Sugarland area is the Smart Financial Center at Sugarland. And so this is a concert venue where they have lots of different events, comedy shows and live performances. So there definitely is a lot to do as far as different events and things in Sugarland. Fun fact, Sugarland is actually 2 words, sugar space land, not just one word. And there used to be the Imperial Sugar Factory out here in Sugarland. So that is why it is named Sugarland. And it's definitely been interesting to see the development in Sugarland over the years as well. The average list price for homes in this area right now is around $696,000. Generally speaking, you're going to have like 4-bedroom homes. They'll probably be about 3,000 or more square feet. So definitely larger homes. As far as like new construction and things like that, most of it that we're seeing is going to be further south. So, we're seeing a lot in Rosenberg and in this kind of area down here. We're seeing some out in Siena, Missouri City. So some of it is happening around the area, not necessarily in Sugarland proper. So some of the homes that you would see as far as what you're purchasing are going to be a little bit older than in areas around the Sugarland area. All right, so up next, we're going to move to number 4, and that is Washington Avenue Coalition / Memorial Park. And so this is an area in Houston that is kind of west of downtown. And so if we type in Washington Avenue and Memorial Park, this is basically the area here that we are looking at. So Memorial Park is right here. If we're looking at the highways, this is 610. The 610 loop, and this is I-10. So Memorial Park is just south of I-10 and east of 610. And then this is Washington Avenue here. So you can see Washington Avenue Coalition / Memorial Park. This is an area where we are close to downtown. We are close to the Buffalo Bayou Park as well as Memorial Park. The cool thing about Memorial Park is you've got a 3-mile loop around the park, that you can run. So you often see people running out here. You have people that go on the trails to do trail running and things like that. And then the Buffalo Bayou Park is pretty cool as far as the views of downtown. So when you're running here, you can see downtown. And this also has a ton of different trails and things that you can do. As far as schools, the schools here are Houston ISD, so they do get a B+. Houston ISD schools aren't generally ranked as well as Conroe or Fort Bend or Katy ISD, like I've mentioned earlier, but there are still some good schools in this area. Housing, good for families, nightlife, and diversity are all, A-rated rankings here in this area. And so this is one of the best neighborhoods to live in Houston proper, according to Niche.com. It does have a lot of different stuff that's nearby. I would say the thing that I would, caution you about, depending on, what you are looking for, is there are a lot of bars along Washington Avenue. And so if you are, looking to have maybe a little bit quieter of a nighttime setting, you would probably want to be a little bit further away from Washington Avenue than being right on Washington where you could walk to different bars and restaurants. So it really just kind of depends on what you're looking for. Rice Military is an area where a lot of people like to live, as well as Cottage Grove, which is up here. But as far as amenities, you are close to HEB, which is our best grocery store here. You have a Sprouts Farmers Market, a Walmart, and a Target, all very close to you. And so this is a really great location in order to be close to, again, bars and restaurants, dining, entertainment, parks if you like to run or bike or walk. And just kind of live a little bit more of an outdoor lifestyle. There are a lot of concerts and things. There's 4th of July fireworks that get shot up at Eleanor Tinsley. And then Memorial Park, there are a lot of different events and races and things over here as well. It's a great location if you're commuting to downtown. Very quick and easy commute to downtown. And then if you're getting to different areas of town, I used to live here and then I worked out in the energy corridor. It was great because it was more of a reverse commute as opposed to living in the suburbs and driving into downtown. So that worked well for me when I lived in that area. But this is another neighborhood to consider if you are thinking about moving to Houston. Number 5 is another inside the loop location, or an in-town location, and that is Montrose. And so this is the number 2 best neighborhood to live in Houston. The school district is going to be the Houston ISD once again. So gets a B plus. Again, some of the Houston schools aren't as well rated as the suburban school districts. Housing gets a B minus. And then we've got good for families, nightlife, and diversity, all with A scores. So typing in near town Montrose, this is just south of the bayou. And the lines that kind of divide it are going to be Shepherd, 59, the Spur, and then coming up here to Taft. So it's a little square here. I can zoom out a little bit so you can see where it is on the map. There is a ton to do in this area as far as bars, restaurants. Westheimer Road is a super eclectic road that there are a ton of bars and restaurants, but then there's also homes that have been transitioned into bars or tattoo shops or thrift shops. So you're going to have some standard retail and then some kind of funky retail and development here as well. And so this is Westheimer. As far as things to do, there is a Whole Foods. As far as amenities, we do have a Whole Foods up here and a Trader Joe's over here off of West Alabama. As far as different things in Montrose to be aware of, if you're looking to go to museums, one cool museum here is the Menil Collection. And so this is a private collection that is open to the public. And there's a nice little park that you can walk around in or have a picnic here. And so you are just right across the street. If you take Montrose Boulevard down, you can come down here into the museum district area where there's Herman Park and the zoo and the Museum of Natural Science and tons of stuff like that. But Montrose has a lot to do. As far as homes in this area, Montrose is going to be a little bit more modern of a look as far as homes as compared to the suburbs that we've talked about earlier. So the Woodlands and Sugarland and everything, you're going to have more suburban brick style homes. And while we do have some older homes that are brick in the Montrose area, you're going to see a lot more of the 2, 3, and 4-story kind of townhome style homes with the 0 lot line. So when we're looking at these right here, they don't have a shared wall, which is technically what a townhome is, but there's not really any lot line. So when you're looking at these, they don't touch, but they do resemble townhomes. Some of them do have small yards. So if you're looking for outdoor space in Montrose, you're probably not going to get a ton. You see a little bit here, but most of these homes, are going to be a little bit more modern looking. Some of the older ones may have brick and stone and things like that, but the more modern look is going to definitely be more present in the Montrose area. Some of the other things that you may see, as I was saying, like some of the bars and restaurants on Westheimer are older homes. There are some older homes. And so I can give you a look or an idea of like what Westheimer looks like. So coming on to Westheimer, we do have the regular retail type stuff. But then as we kind of come down the road, we have retail. And then this is Commonwealth. So got this way. And then we do have other stuff that are more eclectic and like homes and things that have been redone. And so you can see this kind of in the distance here. We've got a house over here as well as a few more down here. And so these are homes that have been turned into, you know, retail and bars and restaurants. If you're looking for a good cocktail, Anvil is a really good cocktail bar on Westheimer as well. It's a, this is a barber shop that was a house. And then we see the same with like some restaurants and things. So Westheimer is where the majority of bars and restaurants and things like that are in the Montrose area. Coming up at number 6 is Memorial. And so Memorial is an area that is going to be west of Houston. This is one of the more expensive neighborhoods in the greater Houston area. And so this is kind of the energy corridor and Memorial area. If I zoom out, you can kind of see it a little bit better on the map. So we're going to be just south of I-10, just outside the Beltway, in between basically the Beltway and Highway 6. And so this is that area there. And we've also kind of include the energy corridor in that as well. So as far as the ratings, there are A+ public schools. It's good for families, good nightlife and diversity as well. There are a lot of different neighborhoods that kind of break up in this area. And so when we look at Memorial, we have, Memorial West, we have Memorial proper, Memorial, like different neighborhoods in this area. So as far as things to do out this way, we do have the Terry Hershey Park, and then this is a trail that goes through a lot of the different neighborhoods. As far as shopping and dining and things like that, there are a lot of smaller shopping centers, as you can see as I kind of zoom in here. But the biggest ones that we have in this area are going to be the Memorial City Mall, which is out here off of I-10. So we have Memorial City Mall, and then we also have City Center. And so these are all kind of in this area here. And so there's a lot of shopping and dining and entertainment out in this area. And so this is something where there's even, hospitals. And so Memorial City has really turned into an area where you don't really need to go very far away. So if you live in the Memorial area and you work in the energy corridor, perhaps your doctors are in this area as well. You probably don't need to leave this general vicinity. It's generally about a 20-ish minute, maybe 30-minute drive to downtown, depending on traffic. But it's a great place to be able to live close to downtown and be in an area where you have everything that you need just right there. Okay, so coming in at number 7 is down in Fort Bend County, which is New Territory. So New Territory comes in at number 7. Again, it is in Fort Bend County. It's a master plan community in Sugarland. And so I can pull up the map here to show you New Territory. And so this is right here, and it's a small community in the Sugarland vicinity. So you see Sugarland here, New Territory here, just to the west. And so, as I was saying before, we're seeing a lot of new construction in like the Richmond and Rosenberg area. And that's one of the biggest master plan communities. And some of the most new construction that's happening is happening in Richmond and Rosenberg right now. But New Territory is a master plan community in Sugarland. And so, a little bit more about the New Territory area. Housing, good for families, diversity, all get A's ratings from Niche.com. So this is about 30 to 45 minutes from Houston. New Territory is a 3,200 acre community. It's got parks, lakes, and green spaces. And so some of the amenities in New Territory that people like, they have an 1,800 square foot facility that has a full-size gym, a weight room, multi-purpose rooms, a pool with a cabana, playground, tennis courts, tennis pro shop. So it's a great place to be able to go and meet neighbors and do things. They also have rec centers with tennis courts and pools, a sports complex with baseball and softball fields, soccer fields, pavilions. So there's a lot of different sports courts and things like that, as well as pocket parks. So smaller parks where people can go with their families or children to, hang out and enjoy some fresh air. New Territory is in the Fort Bend ISD. So the same school district that I had mentioned before for Sugarland. So good ranked school district here, and a pretty good location, right? When you are looking just outside of the greater Houston area. And so this is, again, just north of 59 and south of 90, out here off of 99. So this is the New Territory area here. And again, you're close to Sugarland Town Center, and the things that I had said earlier with Sugarland for quick access to shopping and dining and things like that. Up next, as far as the number 8 place to live, is Spring Valley Village. So Spring Valley Village comes in at number 8. It is the number 2 best place to raise a family in Harris County. And it basically has pretty good rankings, A's and B's, A plus public schools, A plus good for families, A minus for nightlife, and then a B plus for housing and a B minus for diversity. And so when we look at where Spring Valley Village is on the map, it is just north of where Memorial is. So we are north of 10 instead of south of 10. So this is the Memorial area here down south of 10. We are north of I-10. And this is a small little portion of the area, and it's part of Memorial Villages. So as I was saying before, you have Memorial as a neighborhood, and then there's other memorials or things like that in the area. This is one of the things that makes up Memorial Villages. It's got a great location close to I-10. So same with Memorial. It's easy to kind of get in and out. The schools in this area are under Spring Ranch ISD, and that is the location for the schools. As far as shopping and things that are close by, obviously you also are able to take advantage of City Center and the Memorial City Mall. The Galleria is also a little bit closer here because you have the Galleria at 610 and I-10 area down just right over here. Sorry, 610 and 59, excuse me, over here. So it's not too far away from the Spring Valley Village area. And then you're obviously close to Memorial Park as well. So a lot that is close by in this area as well. All right. So coming up next at number 9 is University Place. And so University Place is ranked as the number 4 best neighborhood to live in Houston, but obviously it is the number 9 best place to live in Houston. So ranking high on all lists here. And so this is the general area for University Place. And so you can see here it's saying on the map from 59 to Kirby down to the Bayou and then Main Street are the kind of areas for this area. As far as when you are in West U, the street signs will be blue as opposed to being green. So you are in West U. As far as prices and things like that, the average sales price in this area is $2.1 million. So generally speaking, if you're looking at stuff that is below $1 million, it's going to be more lot value type properties. And then over $1 million will be homes. A lot of them, if you're looking under $2 million, are probably going to need some work or would need to be, rehabbed or something like that. The average year built in this area is 1997. So some of the older homes are being redone or knocked down for new construction to be built. But again, that average price is over $2 million as far as the sales price here. So what I love about this area is its proximity to downtown, to the medical center, to the museum district, as well as Rice University. So you do have Rice University right here. You have Herman Park and the museum district here, and then you have the medical center. So as we zoom out, you can see that you are also super close to downtown. So it is a great area to live as far as proximity to different amenities. So you have West University Place and University Place. And so West U and South Side, all of this is a really great area to live. But again, it is very expensive to live in. So it's definitely something that isn't going to be, the average priced home in Houston. All right. So number 10, best place to live in the greater Houston area is a great community called Greatwood. This is down in Fort Bend County as well. So as you can see, we are back down here in the Sugarland area. This is just south of where the Sugarland Smart Financial Center is. And so if I zoom out, this is again a small area in the Sugarland area out here in Southwest Houston. And so this is in Fort Bend County. When we look at what Nichecom has to say, good for families, good diversity, decent housing, decent nightlife. It's the number 6 best suburb to live in the greater Houston area. So Greatwood is another master plan community. This is a 2,000-ish acre community. They have 12 different lakes and green belts. They have miles of paved trails for you to bike and hike and walk and run. You can fish in the lakes. You can, obviously be able to take advantage of all of the different parks and pools and things like that. Generally speaking, the homes here are going to be single family homes, that are 1 and 2 stories tall. Greatwood has a lot of great amenities. Obviously, I mentioned that they have the lakes and the greenbelt, but they also have an 18-hole private course. They have 3 different pools. They have recreational centers with picnic facilities. They have tennis courts, volleyball courts. There's definitely a lot to be able to do. As far as schools, where this is located is not in Fort Bend ISD, but it is in Lamar Consolidated ISD. So you have Campbell and Dickinson Elementary and Reading Junior High School. But it is in the Lamar ISD, not in Houston ISD. So as far as sales price and average prices in here, the average price for homes is going to be around $540,000. The average price for rentals is around $2,400. So definitely a little bit more affordable than some of the other suburbs that we have talked about. But there is a lot to do here in this area as well. So this is just the top 10 neighborhoods and areas to live in according to niche.com. If you've got questions about moving into or around the greater Houston area or other neighborhoods that we didn't mention in today's video, please comment down below. We would love to create more videos kind of going over the different areas of Houston. But if you've got questions, please feel free to reach out. We'd be happy to chat with you about what it's like living in the greater Houston area. Hope you have a great day, and we'll see you on the next video.